Friends, one day our names will be spoken for the last time. One day someone will walk past where we once lived and they won't know we were ever here. That thought used to scare me until I realized something. We may not be able to live forever, but we can create something that will. I'm talking about a life that outlives you. Think about it. Some people leave behind money, some leave behind memories. But the greatest gift you can leave behind is impact. Impact never dies. Your words can outlive you. Your kindness can outlive you. Your example can outlive you. But it doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you decide that every single day will count, that you will live deliberately, that you will use the pain, the joy, the lessons, the scars, and the victories, not just to get yourself through life, but to lift someone else higher. Here's the truth. The people who leave legacies are not always the richest, the smartest, or the most famous. They're the ones who cared enough to make a difference where they were with what they had for as long as they could. Your life right now is like a book still being written. You get to decide the ending. Will people close the book and forget it? Or will they read your story for years to come, quoting your courage, retelling your lessons, and drawing strength from your example? If you want to live a life that outlives you, start today. Do good that you can't be paid back for. Say words that echo long after you're gone. Build something that carries your name into the future, because one day your time will run out, and on that day you'll either leave dust or footprints. Which will it be? We often live as if the clock isn't ticking, as if we've been given an unlimited number of tomorrows. But the truth is, every one of us is working with borrowed time. No matter how healthy, wealthy, or wise we are, the day will come when our chapter on this earth closes. That's not meant to make you fearful. It's meant to make you intentional. Because while life is temporary, what you leave behind has the power to outlast centuries. Think about the people whose names are still spoken long after they've left this world. Some were inventors, some were leaders, some were ordinary people who chose to live in extraordinary ways. The reason we remember them isn't because they avoided death. Nobody does. It's because they planted something so valuable in the world that time couldn't erase it. Their impact outlived their heartbeat. You see, the body ages, but influence doesn't have to. Your kindness doesn't wrinkle. Your ideas don't get weaker bones. Your courage doesn't lose its strength. If you live in a way that pours into others, your words, actions, and example can keep working long after you're gone, like seeds that keep sprouting in soil you'll never walk on. That is the power of living for impact. The challenge is most people spend more time worrying about what they'll get in life than what they'll give. We chase titles, possessions, and temporary applause. But here's the reality. The fancy car will one day rust. A big house will one day belong to someone else. And that promotion will one day be given to another person. The only thing that stays is the difference you made in someone's life. That's the only investment with a guaranteed eternal return. When you shift your focus from duration to donation, from how long can I live to how much can I give, everything changes. You start asking yourself better questions. Who can I help today? What can I build that will still matter 50 years from now? How can I make sure my existence means something to people I'll never meet? And those questions lead to a life that doesn't just take up space, it transforms space. Living with this mindset doesn't require you to be famous, rich, or powerful. It simply requires you to care deeply, act boldly, and think generationally. It's about creating ripples that keep moving long after the stone has sunk beneath the water. Life is short, yes, but your impact doesn't have to be. You can create something so meaningful, so transformative, that even time itself will have to pause and remember you. We often think of legacy as something you start working on at the end of your life, like a final chapter you write when you're older and wiser, but that's a dangerous illusion. Legacy is not built in a single moment of brilliance. It is forged in the small, consistent choices you make every day. Each conversation, each decision, each action is a brick in the structure of your life story. Whether you realize it or not, you're already building your legacy right now, and the construction never stops. Look at any great person who is remembered for their impact, and you'll find they didn't just have big moments. They had countless small ones. It's the teacher who spends an extra hour helping a struggling student after class. It's the parent who works late into the night to give their children a better future. It's the neighbor who quietly leaves groceries on a doorstep when someone has fallen on hard times. These daily acts might seem invisible, but over time they form the threads of a legacy that is impossible to tear apart. The mistake many people make is waiting for the right time to start living intentionally. They tell themselves, I'll give more when I have more, or I'll inspire others when I'm in a better place. But every day you delay is a day you could have been adding to your life's imprint. Legacy is not a project you save for later, it's a habit you practice now. What you do in the present shapes how you'll be remembered in the future. This is why it's dangerous to underestimate the power of daily consistency. You might think nobody notices the way you handle challenges, the way you treat people, the way you show up when it's inconvenient, but they do. People remember patterns, not occasional gestures. If you show up with integrity, kindness, and excellence over and over again, those qualities become the signature you leave behind. That's the foundation of a lasting legacy. Even the smallest choices can echo far beyond the moment. Think about it. One encouraging word might be the reason someone doesn't give up. One small example of courage might inspire another person to step out of fear. One consistent act of generosity might spark a chain reaction of kindness in your community. The ripple effect is real, and every single day gives you another chance to create it. The truth is, legacy isn't about the number of years you live. It's about what you do with the days you're given. Every sunrise hands you fresh clay, and by sunset, you've molded another piece of your life sculpture. The question is, are you shaping it deliberately or letting it form by accident? If you want your name to be remembered with respect, love, and admiration, you must start laying those bricks today and keep laying them until your very last breath. We live in a world obsessed with numbers, the size of your bank account, the number of followers you have, the square footage of your home. Society tells us these are the measures of success. But when the curtain falls on your life, none of those numbers will matter. People won't remember the brand of your clothes or the price tag on your car. What they will remember is how you made them feel, the lives you touched, and the changes you inspired. Impact outlasts income, and influence outshines recognition. History is full of people who were never rich, never famous, and yet shaped the world in ways far greater than kings and millionaires. Think of the schoolteacher who inspired a student to become a leader. Think of the quiet neighbor who took in children during a crisis. These names may never be printed in history books, but their fingerprints are all over the lives they changed. True wealth is not measured in possessions, but in the difference you make. Fame can be fleeting. The world's attention shifts like the wind. One moment you're celebrated, the next you're forgotten. If your identity and purpose are tied to applause, you will live in constant fear of silence. But when your mission is to serve, to lift, and to heal, you can keep moving forward even when nobody is watching. That kind of purpose doesn't fade. It fuels you from the inside out. Wealth, too, is not inherently wrong. It can be a powerful tool for doing good, but it is a poor master. If your only goal is to accumulate, you risk dying rich in money but bankrupt in meaning. Money can build a house, but only impact can build a home. Money can buy attention, but only kindness can earn loyalty. Money can purchase monuments, but only impact can write your name on someone's heart. Some of the most impactful people in history died without material wealth, but left behind a treasure of influence. They gave their time, their ideas, their love, and their courage. And here's the beautiful thing. Unlike wealth or fame, your ability to make an impact is not limited by your status. You can start right now, right where you are, with what you already have. Influence is not a matter of position. It's a matter of intention. When you start measuring your life, not by what you've accumulated, but by what you've contributed, your priorities shift. You become more focused on legacy than luxury, on service rather than status. And when you live this way, you discover a joy that money and fame could never buy. The joy of knowing your life is bigger than you, and your influence will keep moving through the world long after you've left it. No matter where you are right now, your life is not a finished book. Too many people live as if the last chapter has already been written, as if their failures, mistakes, or current circumstances have locked their ending in place. But here's the truth. Every day you wake up, you have a fresh page to fill. And that means you still have the power to change the plot. It doesn't matter how many chapters in your past are filled with pain, loss, or regret. The beauty of life is that the next page is always blank. You can start rewriting your future at any moment. Some of the most inspiring stories in history belong to people who spent years in the dark before stepping into the light. Their past didn't disqualify them, it prepared them. Your scars can become the ink for your greatest chapters. Too often, we let the voices of doubt, our own or from others, tell us this is who you are and this is all you'll ever be. But those voices aren't the author of your life. You are. And as long as you still have breath, you have creative control over your narrative. You can introduce new characters, change the setting, and rewrite the theme. You can transform a tragedy into a testimony. When you start seeing your life as a work in progress, setbacks become plot twists, not endings. They are moments that add depth to your character, give you resilience, and make your eventual victories even more powerful. The heroes we admire in books and movies aren't loved because their lives were easy. They're loved because they overcame the impossible. And the same is true for you. Your challenges are shaping the legacy you will leave. This perspective also removes the pressure to have it all figured out right now. Every great story unfolds in stages, and each chapter serves a purpose. Some chapters are filled with joy, others with hardship, but all of them contribute to the bigger picture. When you trust that your story is still unfolding, you stop living in fear of failure and start living with curiosity about what the next page might hold. So wherever you find yourself, whether you're in the middle of a breakthrough or the middle of a breakdown, remember this: you are still holding the pen. And as long as you keep writing, there is no limit to how powerful, inspiring, and unforgettable your story can become. 5. Small acts of kindness can outlast a lifetime. We often underestimate the power of something as simple as a kind word, a helping hand, or a genuine smile. We think impact requires grand gestures, massive platforms, or extraordinary resources. But the truth is, some of the most lasting legacies in history were built on small, consistent acts of kindness. You may forget the kindness you gave, but the person who received it might carry it for the rest of their life. Think about it. A teacher takes a few minutes to encourage a struggling student, and that student decides not to drop out. a stranger offers a warm meal to someone in need, and that single act restores their faith in humanity. A nurse holds the hand of a patient in pain, and that human touch becomes a moment of comfort they'll never forget. These moments don't make headlines, but they make history in the heart of the person you touched. Kindness has a way of multiplying. One small act can trigger a ripple effect that reaches far beyond what you can see. You may never know the full impact of your generosity, but it moves through people like an invisible current. The person you help today may go on to help someone else tomorrow, creating a chain reaction of compassion that outlives both of you. And here's the thing, kindness doesn't require wealth, status, or perfect circumstances. You don't have to wait until someday to make a difference. You can start now with what you have right where you are. A kind word costs nothing but can be worth more than gold to the person who receives it. A listening ear takes only minutes, but can lift a weight someone has been carrying for years. The beauty of kindness is that it speaks a universal language. It crosses barriers of race, religion, and background. It is understood in every culture and remembered in every heart. Long after people forget your job title or your possessions, they will remember the moments when you made them feel seen, valued, and loved. That is the kind of memory that lives on in others and becomes part of your lasting legacy. If you want to leave something behind that time cannot erase, fill your days with kindness. It may not seem like much now, but each act is like planting a seed in the soil of someone's life. Long after you're gone, those seeds can grow into forests of hope, comfort, and inspiration for generations to come. Use both joy and pain to inspire others. Every one of us has two kinds of experiences, moments that make us smile and moments that make us break. Most people try to share the first and hide the second, but here's the truth. Both your joy and your pain are powerful tools for impact. Your victories show people what's possible, but your struggles show them it's possible for them too. When you're willing to be transparent about both, you give others the courage to face their own battles. The mistake many make is thinking they have to wait until the pain is over to inspire someone. But sometimes your openness in the middle of the storm is what someone else needs to keep holding on. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to be real. People connect more deeply to your scars than your trophies because scars say, I've been where you are and I made it through. Your joyful moments, on the other hand, are living proof that life can change, hope can return, and dreams can be fulfilled. When you celebrate your wins openly, not in arrogance, but in gratitude, you give people a picture of what they're striving for. You remind them that after the pain, there can be laughter. After the night, there can be morning. Joy is contagious, and so is resilience. Think of your life as a bridge, one side anchored in the moments that broke you, the other in the moments that built you. People walking behind you can cross because you're willing to share the full length of that bridge. If you only show the sunshine, they may think they'll never make it through their storms. But when you also show the rain you endured, they realize that the road from pain to joy is possible, and you've walked it. Some of the greatest inspirations in the world are not those who lived without hardship, but those who turned their hardship into help for others. The mentor who survived a rough childhood and now guides young people. The cancer survivor who encourages those still in the fight. The entrepreneur who failed multiple times but now teaches others how to rise after setbacks. These are the voices that carry weight because they come from experience. When you use both your joy and your pain to inspire, you create a complete and authentic legacy. You're not pretending to be perfect. You're proving that progress is possible. And that, more than anything, is what people remember, not that you never struggled, but that you never stopped